Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today. I'm really excited that I'm finally starting my Mongoose Elroy budget dream build project. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking the bike down, showing you guys some of the parts I got and also the paint I'll be using. So before we get into the bike project, I wanted to mention that we have a ton of content coming out. This project alone will probably be 3 or 4 videos, and I'll probably be putting them out relatively quickly. Also, we have a few bike trip videos. Andy Heck was actually up here for almost the entire month of July. So we did a Marquette trip that we have a ton of footage from. And then also we went to Dubuque, Iowa, and we got some footage. So we're gonna be putting out a lot of videos. So please keep an eye out for those. First off, I want to say that this bike is really good as is, especially considering I only paid under 300 bucks for it. It was an open box item on Amazon. The only reason I'm gonna do this is because I see so many cool gravel projects on Instagram, and I thought it would be cool to do my own budget version. The only goals I have in mind are really just knocking some weight off and kind of making my own unique budget adventure bike. So I'm trying to keep this build low cost. It's starting to get a little out of hand, but I'm gonna show you guys some of the parts that I have right now and talk about some that are coming. First things first, microshift Advent drivetrain. I'm switching to a 1x9. The bike currently has a 2x7. The rear cassette on the bike is a 12 to 34 range. This is an 11 to 42, so I'm increasing the range on the rear by quite a bit. And to go with that, I have the Advent derailleur, which has a clutch, which is pretty sweet because the cheap Shimano derailleur that's on there is pretty cheap and loud. So now I'll be able to get all sorts of rowdy. Instead of getting 2 new shifters, I'm just switching the right side to the 9-speed. The left is gonna remain the 2x shifter because I'm kind of cheap and I don't really feel like replacing it. There's really no need for it. So that takes care of my drivetrain. I lied, that's not it. I got this cheap 38 tooth oval chainring. This is gonna be my starting point. We'll see where it goes from here. I have a feeling I'm gonna use the 38 for more gravel and possibly some cyclocross. And then if I do a lot of road riding, I might switch it out to a 44 maybe. I don't know, we'll see once we get rolling. Kind of what I think of the gearing and the gear ratio. Tires, I'm going trendy. Got the tan walls, got the WTB Nano 40C for the front and the byway 40 for the rear. Kind of got a slick down the center with some aggressive side knobs. Front's a pretty fast rolling aggressive tire. So unfortunately, I thought I was going to be able to fit this 9-speed cassette on the rear wheel or on the current hub on the bike, and it doesn't fit. So I just ordered a cheap wheel set, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. So I filmed all of that last night, and then I wake up this morning, and on Pink Bike's homepage, microshift announced updates to Advent 9-speed shifter and cassette. Unbelievable. So you click on the article. They updated the 9-speed cassette, 11 to 46, for 40 bucks. And I just bought the 11 to 42, and apparently the derailleur is still gonna work. The one that I bought, I assume, because they didn't come out with a new derailleur. So, kind of lame, but at the same time, it's 40 bucks. I'll probably end up buying that sooner rather than later. So the current fork on this bike is steel. It weighs quite a bit. So I decided to order a new fork. I ordered a cheap eBay carbon fork from the land of China, and it still isn't here. It's been a long time. The tracking says it's been stuck in Chicago for like 2 weeks now. It's getting kind of annoying, but I'm gonna paint this fork to match, and when the new fork comes, it comes, and I'll paint that. I should have plenty of paint. Yeah, that should knock off some weight and should look pretty good. Now, as for the paint, I wanted to use this company called Spray Bike. They make bicycle-specific rattle cans. They have a really good selection and some cool products. Unfortunately, they were sold out of everything I wanted to use. So I had to look elsewhere, and what I came up with is this brand called Montana Cans that make really high-end acrylic spray paint. So I found my colors. I'm going with metallic, and I am doing a fade. So it's gonna be a black fade at the front to this kind of bluish green. One cool thing, other than their selection of colors that they had, is they have a lot of effects paints. So I'm going with a glitter effect over the top. So it's a gloss clear coat with glitter in it. I had this chainstay I broke on my old Trek Remedy. I had it laying around, so I decided I'd do a little testing. I don't know if how cool it looks on camera, but it looks amazing. I did all the prep work just to this arm. It's unbelievable. I'm sure the video isn't going to do it justice, especially in this light. As for the durability, I did a simple scratch test, and I was shocked. I feel like this rattle can paint job that I did is possibly better than the powder coated frame. And I actually think that frame has a really good paint job. I just don't like the orange. The orange kind of gives it a real Walmart-y kind of look. So I'm excited to get this started. It's going to be a bit of a project. And like I said, not everything is here, but I'm going to get it started now. All right, so I've completely destroyed my workbench doing this project, but I painted the fork. Didn't turn out absolutely amazing. Like I said, I have a new fork. I have a carbon fork coming, so this one wasn't really important to me to get super nice. I just wanted to match temporarily. I don't know if you can really see. It's got a decent glitter to it. It looks okay. I can still see a couple sand marks and spots, but like I said, this isn't gonna be the fork that's on the bike forever. It'll work for now, but I'm very anxious to get my frame painted. So the frame is basically completely prepped. I just roughed up the surface with some rough sandpaper, and then I went over with fine sandpaper and some Scotch-Brite. As you can see, I still have the headset in there. Obviously the bearings are out, but I'm gonna paint those to match. I'm gonna tape around the bottom bracket, but I got some old bolts in all the bottle cages, on the brake mounts. Everything looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna get painting on this thing, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to wait for episode 2 to see it. So keep an eye out for the rest of the episodes. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.